Last video we have discussed about what is superconductor, what is superconductivity, and properties of superconductor. Now today we are going to discuss types of superconductors. So there are two types of superconductor: type 1 superconductor and type 2 superconductor. So first we'll see type 1 superconductor. So here this is type 1 superconductor. This is applied magnetic field. This Hc, it is a critical magnetic field. So below this critical field it is superconducting state, and above this it is in the normal state. So in type 1 superconductor, the transition from superconducting state to normal state occurs very sharply at the critical value Hc. In the presence of magnetic field. Now below Hc it is superconducting state, above Hc it is normal state. So below Hc it is superconducting state, so it is completely diamagnetic means magnetic flux is completely excluded. So at the transition temperature it comes to the normal state. So this magnetic field is penetrates only on the surface of that type 1 superconductor, and current flows only on the surface layer. This is also called as soft superconductor, for example aluminium and lead. Now when we see type 2 superconductor, you can compare type 1 and type 2 superconductor. Now we'll see type 2 superconductor. Here that dotted line, it shows for type 1 superconductor. This diagram which we already, this part. So here this dotted line, it shows for type 1 superconductor. Now in type 2 superconductor, here type 1 superconductor it is called as soft superconductor, and type 2 superconductor it is called as hard superconductor. Here only one critical field is there, Hc, at this field. Because of this field, it has two states, superconducting state and normal state, and only one critical field. But here it has two critical field. This is Hc1 and Hc2. So at this critical field, because of this two critical field, it has three states: superconducting state, mixed state, and normal state. So below Hc1 it is superconducting state, Hc1 to Hc2 it is in the mixed state, and above Hc2 it is in the normal state. Again I'll tell you, it has three states: superconducting state, mixed state, and normal state. It has two critical field, Hc1 and Hc2. So below Hc1 it is in the superconducting state, between Hc1 to Hc2 it is in the mixed state, and above Hc2 it is in the normal state. So up to Hc1 the system is in pure superconducting state, it is superconducting state. Above Hc1 up to Hc1 it is superconducting state. That means magnetic flux is completely expelled from the superconductor due to Meissner's effect. After Hc1 and before Hc2 the system is mixed state, Hc1 to Hc2, this is mixed state. So in this state the system is magnetically mixed. Now it is mixed state. So here next is after Hc2 the system is in the normal state. Now these are the examples of type 2 superconductor. If you have to differentiate between type 1 and type 2 superconductor, mainly you have to explain in type 1 superconductor it has only one critical field, in type 2 superconductor it has two critical field. In type 1 superconductor it has two states, superconducting state and normal state, and in type 2 superconductor it has three states: superconducting state, mixed state, and normal state. And so this is about you have to mention the diagram also when you have to differentiate between type 1 and type 2. You have to mention type 1 superconductor is called as soft superconductor, type 2 superconductor is called as hard superconductor. You have to give examples of type 1 superconductor and type 2 superconductor also. So this is about types of superconductor. Now the next topic is low temperature superconductor and high temperature superconductor. So we'll see in this format, so that you will understood very nicely. So we'll just go point wise. So low temperature superconductor, transition temperature, that means below 24 Kelvin it is low temperature superconductor, and above 27 Kelvin to 138 Kelvin it will be high temperature superconductor. Now the coolant required for this low temperature superconductor is liquid helium, and cooling agent, also we can say cooling agent required for high temperature superconductor is liquid nitrogen. Now here the material for the superconductor, low temperature superconductor, these are typically elements, and these are typically these are NB based alloys. Now where low temperature superconductor is used and where high temperature superconductor is used. So low temperature superconductor is not useful for commercial application, and high temperature superconductor is useful in commercial application like motor, generator, cable, transformer, etc. So this is about low temperature and high temperature superconductor. Now we'll see Josephson effect. We'll see Josephson effect. So what is Josephson effect? So when we consider two superconductor, and these two superconductor are connected to each other with the insulating layer, then that junction between them is called as Josephson junction. Like this, you can see this one is type 1 superconductor. Sorry, this is first superconductor, this is second superconductor, and when we connect this two superconductor with the insulating layer, then this is called as this is called as Josephson junction. So this is explained by the BCS theory also. In BCS theory, basically it is related to Cooper pair. BCS theory is not in your syllabus, but Cooper pair is just a pair of electron that you should know. So the Cooper pair, what is Josephson effect? So the Cooper pair tunnel through the junction and enters into the another superconductor. That means these are Cooper pair of this first, and these are the Cooper pair of this second. So when this Cooper pair tunnel through this junction and enters into the second, and this Cooper pair tunnel through this junction and enters into the first one, so this is called Josephson effect. So this is about Josephson effect. Now there are two types of Josephson effect: AC Josephson effect and DC Josephson effect. So we'll see DC Josephson effect. Basically these two types are depending upon the external voltage is applied or not. So in DC Josephson effect, external voltage is not applied, and in AC Josephson effect, external voltage is applied. So DC Josephson effect is when this two superconductor are connected with this insulating layer, there is no external voltage is applied. Then also Cooper pair can tunnel from one superconductor through to the second, and from second superconductor to first, and then it produces current. So this is DC Josephson effect. This Cooper pair can be represented by wave function. So the insulating layer introduces phase difference between wave function of Cooper pair on opposite side, between this Cooper pair and this Cooper pair. So there is a phase difference between this pair and this pair. So due to this, supercurrent appears across the junction even though applied voltage is 0. So because of that phase difference between the wave function of first Cooper pair and second Cooper pair, supercurrent appears across this junction when voltage is 0, when external voltage is not applied. So this is Josephson effect. Then how much supercurrent will be there? So it can be given by IS. S stands for super, I, that is current, so super current is equals to IC sin phi. Now IC, it is the critical current at voltage which is equals to 0, and phi, it is the phase difference between the wave function of this Cooper pair and this Cooper pair. So phase difference between the wave function of Cooper pair. So by using this formula we can find out supercurrent through the junction. Now when we'll see AC Josephson effect, now here only when we connect this to superconductor with the insulating layer, that is DC Josephson effect, no external voltage is applied. Now in AC Josephson effect, here two superconductors are connected with insulating layer, but we applied electric field. So when we see that, so when DC voltage is applied across the junction, it introduces an additional phase on the Cooper pair. Before that, phi is the phase when external voltage is not applied. In DC Josephson effect, phi is the phase difference. So when we applied phase difference across the junction, it introduces an additional phase on the Cooper pair during tunneling. So the DC voltage generates alternating current as given by I is equals to IC. Now without external voltage, the current is IC into sin phi. Now there will be additional phase difference del phi, so it will be phi plus del phi. That is the additional phase difference. So we will get that current will be equals to IC into sin phi plus delta phi. Now because of that DC voltage, energies of Cooper pair on both the sides at the both the sides of junction are differ by 2 electron volt. Energies between this Cooper pair and this Cooper pair is 2 electron volt. Difference between the energy of this Cooper pair and this Cooper pair is 2 electron volt. So if quantum mechanically we'll see what is the delta phi, it will be twice mu T twice EV. It is basically energy difference, which is equals to twice EV, that we mention here, twice EV upon H. So when we put this value of delta phi in this equation, then we'll get I is equals to IC sin phi plus twice mu T twice EV upon H. So in DC Josephson effect, we can find out the current by using this formula, and here in AC Josephson effect, when we apply external voltage, then there is additional phase difference will be there. So we'll get I is equal to IC sin phi plus twice mu T twice EV upon H. Now this is about Josephson effect. Now the same concept we have to apply in the next part, that is squid. So in squid, which is based on the Josephson junction, Josephson effect. So squid, what is squid? Squid, it is basically S from superconducting, Q from QU from quantum, I from interference, and D from device. That is squid. So superconducting, quantum, interference, device, that is squid. Now what is squid exactly? That is, it is a magnetometer which is used to measure very small magnetic flux on the order of 10 raised to minus 18 Tesla. We can find out very small magnetic flux which is of the order of 10 raised to minus 18 Tesla. It is based on Josephson effect, which we already discussed before this topic. Now there are two types of squid, DC squid and RF squid. Now in DC squid, there are two parallel Josephson junction, and here only one Josephson junction is there. So here in this topic we are going to use two parallel DC squid. Here it has two parallel Josephson junction. Now how it forms, how squid is formed? So you can see this is first first superconductor, this is second superconductor, and these two superconductors are connected with this first Josephson junction, and here also the second Josephson junction. So it has two junction, but they should be parallel to each other. So these superconductors are connected with this two junction. So this is just the construction. You can see diagram over here of squid. So construction, it is fabricated from lead and pure niobium. It is, the material is the material used for this is lead or pure niobium, and on this Josephson junction is oxidized here parallelly, and it is liquid helium is used to cool this device. The coolant agent to cool this device is liquid helium. Now when we say working of this squid, so when biasing current is given to this, or we can say when a constant DC supercurrent is applied, this current is actually called as biasing current. So that bias current, when it enters at this arm C, it enters at this arm, and then it get divided at the path A. We can say it is path A and path B. Then this will move towards junction P, it will move towards junction Q. After passing through the junction, the current after tunneling will be I1, and after tunneling through Q it will be I2. So when it passes through this, then again it will come together over here, and it will come together at arm D. So it will be the path of the current will be like this. So when this is this I1 and I2 are the current through the tunneling through the Josephson junction. Now when we apply the magnetic field to the squid, and when we don't apply magnetic field to the squid, what will happen, that we have to discuss. So when we apply, actually there is a difference between phase difference actually when we apply magnetic field and when we don't apply magnetic field. So when we apply magnetic field, when we don't apply magnetic field, then the generally already we have discussed in the in the Josephson effect, that is in superconductor a single wave function describes all Cooper pair. So that wave function experiences a phase shift on Josephson junction P and Q. So in the absence of magnetic field, there is the phase difference at P and Q, which is mentioned here. Phase difference between P and Q. Phase difference between P and Q, which is equals to 0 when magnetic field is not applied. When magnetic field is not applied, then phase difference at P and Q will be 0. But when we applied magnetic field, that is in the presence of magnetic field, there is voltage drop across the junction, and that change in voltage, it shows there is presence of magnetic field, and because of that there is a phase difference between there is a phase difference across each of two junction. Previously when in the absence of magnetic field, phase difference at P and phase difference at Q is 0, but when magnetic field is applied, then there is a phase difference across each of two junction. That means there is a phase difference at P and there is a phase difference at Q. So this is about squid. So today we have discussed about type 1 and type 2 superconductor, then Josephson effect, that is AC Josephson effect, DC Josephson effect, and squid. So this chapter is over. So this is about superconductivity.